Hi everyone, my name is Harshad Shrikhande and I work as a senior data scientist at a company called Zuora. It's my pleasure today to be speaking to you all on this K-12 data science conference, and I'm very excited to see this next generation of data scientists and data professionals joining this. So thanks for joining this session. I'm going to talk to you about what does it really mean to be in this data science space and what exactly would you be doing as part of the data science work? So, as we all have heard and we've seen, a lot has been said about the data science um, roles in the 21st century. We have heard in the previous presentations as well about data science being the sexiest job in the 21st century. We've heard things like big data is now the most valuable resource in the world and not oil. And companies definitely need data analytics and data science for their ongoing functioning and things like that, right? Obviously, the salaries for data scientists have also been higher than the average salary. So a lot's been said about this, right? Um, Now, some also say that data science is all about numbers, right? As you see in this comic over here, um, you know, someone saying, "Hey, you're dropping your numbers," and then the data scientist says, "Hey, I have a lot of them. I'm a numbers guy because I'm a data scientist." Uh, or some say that it's really about solving complicated math. So math puzzles, equations, and things like that. Data scientists are also expected to be top programmers or coders. It's commonly associated with some of these programming languages that we have today. So, is it really about that? Is making predictions the ultimate prize for data scientists? A lot's been said about predictive analytics, predicting the future state. So, is data science really about that? Or is it maybe presenting nice looking charts on historical data without doing any predictions, right? So as you can clearly see, there are so many different perspectives that we have heard in general about the data science space. So what does it really mean to be a data scientist, and what does it really mean to be working in this data science space? So when I tried to really understand or generalize the kind of work that you would be doing as part of data science, or really get to the core of what it really is, right? I created my own framework or my own thought process around it, and it's mainly, you're solving business problems using data, right? At the core of it, what data science means is that you're solving some problems that are, that a organization has been facing, be it a company, be it a government, or be it anybody else, but you're really solving a core problem that impacts their business using data. We have seen some of these popular business problems, right? So we know about Netflix, and Netflix, a lot of their movies that are being watched on their platform, they are actually because of the recommendations that Netflix has. And who's building all these recommendations? It's the data science teams, right? So they answer questions like, hey, what's the next best title or movie that is relevant for you? What day and time are you going to watch that movie? On the other hand, you've seen Amazon provide a lot of recommendations on what's the next best product that you're likely to buy. And even a significant portion of their revenue comes because of recommendations. So here's where you're seeing the end state of what data science can do. It really is about solving business problems using data, using the knowledge of uh, technologies, using the knowledge of techniques to mine the data, to build some of the predictive analytics, and so on, right? So it's all encompassing, but not necessarily one of those things that we just went through in the prior slides. So now, how are these complex business problems being solved using data science? I've been in the data science space for over 8 years or so, And when I really looked at the kind of work that I was doing across companies, I created my own opinion or framework around it, which I describe using the 4 C's, right? So being in data science really boils down to these 4 C's, which we will go through. So the first one is all about context. So when you really start your data science journey, or you start on your data science project, the single most important thing that you do at the start is understanding the business context, right? Trying to think big, trying to think as a business owner, and really understand what are those success metrics for you that you want to impact using data science. So having the right context about what you're trying to solve and how is it going to impact the overall business is key. And that's your first C over there. Moving on, the second is collaborate. So what I see is that being in data science requires a lot of collaboration across teams. A data scientist is a team player. You have to identify roles and responsibilities of different data professionals or the business professionals in your company, and you have to understand how you would operate with them. You have to also think about dependencies on what you're trying to solve. How is that going to be solved using someone else's help, right? So it's a team show, and it's more so in case of data science, where there's a lot of dependencies, and hence you need collaboration. What's the third thing about being in data science? So this is where I call it create, which is actually when we refer to the actual data science work, and we talk about developing new key performance indicators or metrics. We talk about generating insights from the data. We talk about building predictive models. So we generally refer to these aspects as the core of data science, but this is one of these 4 C's that we're going to look at, which I call it as create, where you actually develop or create some of the data science artifacts. But it's not the only thing that you do as part of your data science projects. And what's the final one? The final C is communicating. So a very important part of being in the data science space is about presenting your results, selling your story to the stakeholders in the company. The stakeholders could be your internal team members, your managers, cross-functional teams, and it's really about socializing the value of the data science work so that they understand it, and then your work gets accepted and actually implemented. So it's really important to be able to communicate the value of your work, and this is a very key part of being in data science. So let's just summarize what it means to be in the data science space. So you basically end up solving business problems using data by first understanding the context, the business context of what you're trying to solve. You collaborate with multiple teams. You actually create the data science artifact, which could be building a machine learning model. It could be generating insights. It could be developing new metrics. And then you finally effectively communicate what you have created to the stakeholders. So when we say that, hey, we're going to be in the data science space, it actually means we are going to be doing all these things end to end. And you as a data scientist could actually be doing all these things at once as a individual contributor, or you could also take the path of a managerial data scientist, where you manage teams that do these things. So hope that clears a little bit about what it really means to be in data science. That was my presentation. I thank you so much for joining this session, and I am happy to take up questions, if any, that you may have on this. So feel free to drop your questions in the chat. So Michael has posed a question. Can you speak briefly about the business context that is a iterative process to obtain a clear set of requirements? So yes, absolutely the business context part of it, which we talked about, uh, it's a highly iterative process, but the key thing first is to get an alignment with all the different teams on what you're going to start with and what's going to be the first version of whatever you build. So getting alignment on that, actually defining success metrics for that first iteration is key. And then you can obviously go through a lot of different versions of it and you can continuously build on it. But the key thing is for you as a data scientist to understand what business problem are you trying to solve, get an alignment on that with the rest of the teams, define success metrics, and then continuously iterate on this as you build. Welcome. Any other questions? Feel free to drop them here, or I'm going to be sharing the presentation and I can be reached at this email ID, or you can also connect with me on LinkedIn. And I'll be happy to talk further on where you are in your data science journey. And if I can help in any way, I would absolutely do that. We'll just wait for one final round to see if there's any more questions. All right, so if there are no further questions, we can conclude this session. As I said, I'm very excited to see this next generation of data scientists or data professionals. And thanks for joining this session. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you so much.
Hi, Harshad. Can you hear me?
Hey.
I'll end the broadcast now then, if you're finished.
Okay.
All right.
Awesome.
Thank you. See you later.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.